check and make sure all this is working. Okay. Good to roll. Cooking with T-Fizzle. We have audio. Okay. Let me move my microphone a little bit closer. I have a bunch of stuff on my table. But let me see if I can move the mic a little closer. Let me double the audio. Hi, Gracie. How are you? What up, Jay? Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm just trying to move my microphone a little bit closer so you guys can hopefully hear me a little clearer. So just bear with me for a second. That's good to hear, Gracie. I'm pretty good. Been pretty busy today, and as always, just kind of scrambling to get everything together. But we're here, and we're doing it live, baby. Or we're making some cookies today. And yes, happy Wednesday. How are you, Derek? Happy Wednesday. What's going on, my dude? So you all know what it is. We're cooking with T-Fizzle. While we're cooking, while we're baking, while we're hanging out, if you guys want to talk about anything disability related, life related, or whatever, please feel free to ask and share. I'm just going to set this down real quick. So bear with me for 1 second. And yeah, we're hanging out. Having a good time. Alright. I do need to keep my phone kind of close because I have my recipe that I'm going to be using to make my cookies. So I got to keep my phone kind of on hand so I can follow along with the recipes or the recipe. Alright, first we're going to dig in with the fruit of the day. Today we got a kiwi. Let me get a spoon. I was supposed to grab before we got started. I need to grab a knife too. Okay. Got my knife. Got my spoon. Let me toss. Let me move some things around a little bit. And please let me know if you guys can't hear me or anything. I'm doing my best to try to make all this working and functional. But if it's not working for you, I want to hear it. And I'll try to fix it. Just working on your computer. I need a third hand. Do you have any mouth clicker mice recommendations? I know they make some peripherals where you just like you bite onto it as like your clicker. I don't know of a specific brand. I do know of those peripherals, but I've never bought one or purchased one myself. So I wish I had something to recommend. If you do end up getting one, please, I would appreciate it if you let me know after you got a chance to work it out and see if it's working for you. I'm just trying to clear my cutting board off so we can get to cutting. Alrighty. Let me lock that for now. Sorry for the dead air. Just give me a second to get everything together. Okie dokie. So, I will reiterate. Just so everybody knows what this is and what we're doing. I'm Tom Conaway. I am a part of Live to Roll. You might know us from the Tuesday show. I'm sure all of you already know who I am and what this is all about, but we're cooking today with T-Fizzle. Well, we're baking today with T-Fizzle. So I'm trying to start the show off with a different fruit every week to, one, remind myself to eat some fruit and to promote some healthy eating habits. We've had a whole bunch of different stuff going on the last couple weeks, but today we got a kiwi. What up, Albie? Thanks for joining us. I'm not much of a kiwi eater, not for any reason, not because I dislike them. I don't know. Last time I ate a kiwi was years ago. I was like, you know what? Let me buy a kiwi today and see how this turns out. And the cool thing is kiwis are pretty easy to cut, pretty easy to eat. They're kind of fun. So I'm just gonna go like that. Got my kiwi balanced on my cutting board. I'm holding the knife with the back of my hand, kind of backhand style, and we just cut it in half. The cool thing about it, that's all the prep that you got to do for a kiwi, because you can just hold it in your hand, and you don't want to eat the rind, like the furry skin on the outside, but you can just scoop it out of the rind with your spoon, just like this. This one might not be super ripe. It's a little tough in there. But just gonna work it out. That's super good. Now you can just eat it out of the rind, like I'm doing. You can scoop it into a bowl, obviously. I think you can cut off the skin too and peel it if you don't want to do it this style. I saw someone doing it this way. I'm like, oh, that seems like an easy, convenient way to eat some fruit. So that's how I decided to try to do it. And it's working all right. Like I said, maybe if I had this stabilized a little bit better, or if it was a little riper, it might be a little bit more soft. There's a hair on my kiwi right there. I don't want to eat that. But just scooping. What's up, Paul? Paul DeWolf in the chat. How are you, buddy? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Live to Roll and hanging out with T-Fizzle. Don't mind my munching and snacking. I promise that's not going to be the whole show. I just wanted to eat some of my kiwi before we got started to get my blood sugar going a little bit. And yeah, this is pretty damn good. I'll tell you what though, we're moving and shaking today. We got to be kind of quick. Well, we don't have to be quick. We can hang out here all night. But I have a lot to do, and I think this baking thing is going to take a while. So I wanted to kind of get started on that. And don't mind me. I'm just eating my kiwi over here. Okay, I'm going to toss this half. I'm going to save the other half for later. There was only a little bit of fruit left in there. which is why I was tossing it. I'm going to just set this off to the side to snack on later or to eat after the show. If it gets in the way, then I'll move it. Let me grab a paper towel because my hands are a little sticky from that fruit. Ooh, sorry if the audio was terrible there for a second because I bumped the table. I will try not to do that as much as humanly possible. Remind me, Albie, what did you ask me? And how are you, dude? How are you, Paul? How are you guys doing? Okay, got our paper towel. Set that off to the side. Okay, we did our fruit. We did our kiwi. Now, I got a lime here too. We're not going to eat the lime. We're just going to slice the lime because after we get the cookies in the oven, I'm going to mix up a little drink using the lime. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slice this in half, just like we did the kiwi. I'm going to grab my knife. I hold it kind of backhand, as you can see. I asked, how do you rizz up women? Okay, that was a little bit harder to cut. I got into it a little bit. I need to just break through this rind. Without it jumping away from me, give me a second. So, I don't really have that sharp of a knife because it's dangerous and I don't want to cut myself. That can also not be the best tool to use when you're cutting something that's a little bit tougher. But I think I can get it. Damn, this is really tough. Alright, hang on. Bear with me for a minute. I hope this doesn't look too scary. And don't worry, Albie, I didn't forget your question. We'll get to it as we go along. Have you ever tried cutting tools or knives? Adaptive cutting tools or knives? I have. I've used it's called a rocker knife in the past, where the handle kind of looks like a T. You hold it in your hand and you just rock it back and forth. I used to use it back home when I was living at home, and I stopped using it when I kind of started to learn how to use a regular knife, just because they were not very effective or efficient. They are, for like softer things, like cutting that kiwi probably would have been fine. Cutting this lime, I don't think it would work. Alright, come on now. Maybe this... I'm always saying like, oh, maybe it's not ripe, and that's why it's really tough. There we go. We got it. We got it. I just needed to get it started and cut through the rind a little bit. Okay. Piece of cake. And of course the edge of the rind doesn't want to come apart. Okay, we got two lime halves right here. Let me cut a couple wedges out of those. The reason I want the wedges is because we're going to use them on the side of a drink a little later after we get our cookies going. Now that it's flat and it's not going to roll away from me, I can do it a little bit easier. Alright, let's just do one more for posterity. Bam! Bang, bang, boom. I'm not going to wedge it any further because I like a limey gin and tonic. That's what we're making. And yeah, I'm just going to... it would be more difficult to like half the quarter because I would like have to hold it on its edge and do the knife, and that's just not going to happen with this lime, and it doesn't need to happen, period, because this is perfect. Alrighty, I'm going to set this off to the side temporarily, and we're going to get started mixing our cookie dough together. We'll come back as soon as these are the cookies are in the oven. We'll come back to the limes and we'll mix our drink. But let me just clear a little bit of space. I got an avocado here. Why? Not because we're going to eat it, just because I bought it at the store and I forgot to pick it up off the table. So let me set my avocado off to the side since we're not using it today. Let me make a little bit of room for this cutting board. Tell you what, I'm just gonna take this half of kiwi and set it on the cutting board too so it doesn't roll away. Alright, now I'm gonna just gently slide this over. Baking is an interesting form of cooking. It's very technical. Precise measurements and proper timing is paramount to the success of your baked goods. Because of that, it's just like kind of a messy, long process. I don't bake too often. If I bake ever, I usually bake with people, namely my sister, just because she's awesome. Like, she's a legitimate baker. She's got her own baking business, and she is the best. But I'm alone today. I'm doing it all solo. So bear with me if things look a little rough around the edges or if my cookies don't come out just right. A lot of ingredients are going on here, way more than I'm usually doing. So we're just going to take it slow. And like I said, forgive me if I totally royally messed this up. Alright. Keep hitting the table. Alright. So we gotta get our bowl. I'm gonna use... I got a couple bowls here. I'm gonna use this white mixing bowl. I got all my measuring cups right here. You can kind of see them. I'm gonna pour those into the gray bowl that we're not going to use. That'll just be our extra bowl if we need it for anything. And let me pull up our recipe here. I think we're starting out with the dry ingredients. I think we're doing flour, baking soda, and salt to start us off. So, let me grab our measuring. What do we need? We need a 2 1/4 cup all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of baking salt, or soda, and half a teaspoon of salt. Alright. This is a 1/4 teaspoon. I think that's... Do I have a regular teaspoon? Or a half a teaspoon? Alright, this is a half a teaspoon. So, let's grab this, our half a teaspoon measuring instrument, and this is half a cup, so that'll be perfect. Let me get a 1/4 cup too, just so we can be precise with our measurements. Alright. Half a cup, 1/4 cup, teaspoon. Alright, the rest of this, I'm actually going to move out of the way completely to make up a little bit more space so you guys can see and we can all cook together. I'm just going to set this off to the side for later use in case we need it. Okie dokie. Let me grab the salts. Slide that a little closer. Okay. I'm going to hold on to these. I'm going to set our bowl off to the side right here. Bang, bang, boom, bam. Alright. That's good. That's all we need. Okay, so we're mixing all of our dry ingredients first. That means all-purpose flour, baking soda, salt. The other thing I forgot to grab was my spatula spoon. I'll grab that in a minute. I think I'll just use my wooden spoon spatula for this. Okay. I didn't pre-open any of these things. Why? Because, I don't know. When I get back from the store, I never have enough time to prepare everything. And it might not look like a ton to prepare, but it's actually a lot if you're doing it all by yourself. And you happen to be a quadriplegic. Alright, so bear with me while I open all these packages. And I mean, this way you guys at least get the authentic experience, like from start to finish, for the most part, you know. Because, I mean, opening these packages, if you have a disability, may not always be the simplest thing. So we're here to talk about it. We're here to showcase it. There's a little open here tab that's perforated. I'm just trying to stab it and open it. Like, I think I'm just going to use my teeth. I've just bit it to break the perforation. And now I'm going to pop the little flap up. What kind of cookies are you making? We're just doing the OG chocolate chip. We're doing some simple chocolate chip. I found a recipe where you don't, they're supposed to be like quick and simple and easy. You don't have to refrigerate the dough. Because normally if you want cookies to like set up really well, they say like usually you have to like refrigerate your dough and let it cool down so that it bakes properly. This one says it's just like ready to go. That being said, it also said to get some kind of like silicone baking mat or parchment paper to get them to keep them from flattening on the baking pan. I don't have parchment paper and I don't have a silicone baking mat, so I'm just gonna butter my pan and hope for the best. They might end up flattening out a little bit, but I don't care. Like I said, it's the first time we're doing this, so we're just gonna take it slow, take it easy. Alright, Leon, what's going on? We're chefing it up. We're baking today. Technically, I'm a baker. I'm not even a chef. But stupid advertisements taking me away from my... Alright, I dropped my teaspoon measurement. I'm about to lose my half a cup measurement too. Let me secure these and let's pour out our baking soda. Now, I'm going to be a mess by the end of this, people. I already know. Anytime you're dealing with flour or powders or anything, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. And that's totally cool. I have to pour this baking soda out into this tiny little measuring device, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get it all over my lap, but that's okay. I'm not here to impress anybody. What's going on, Donkey Kong? That's right. Okay. Oop. So I spilled a little bit on my belly. That's okay. it really is a bit of a trick to figure this to get it right. That was a little bit more than a half a. Wait, was it supposed to be half a teaspoon or a full teaspoon? I'm already messing up the recipe, and we only did the first thing. Let me double check. If it was half a teaspoon, okay, I did half. That's good. There's still half the powder in there, and I'm just gonna call it. So, I can't put that back in the box because it made the box impossible. So I'm just gonna throw the rest away. I promise that's not cocaine. Ooh. Got a little baking soda on my belly. That's right. Now it's all gone, like it never happened. Okay. So we did our baking soda. Now we got to do our salt. Pouring the salt. Again, we're doing half a teaspoon. Let me open up the salt. All right. The salt container has like a nice little thing that helps it pour out without, like, it's narrow. It's not like super wide like the opening on the baking soda box. So let me slowly measure out a little bit of salt. Alright, I think that is just perfect, and I don't think we spilt a single grain. Let's go. How are you today, Leon? You and your caregiver? Are you guys doing a Dairy Queen run? Are you hanging at home tonight? What's the plan? Other than hanging with T Fizzle. Okay, we got our salt. We got our baking soda in there. Now we gotta do our flour. We need 2 1/4 cups of flour. Bam, 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 bam. Let me grab the flour. I got baking powder all over me, and that's all right. The fun part of this that you guys are gonna have to hang out and watch is me mixing all of it very slowly. Well, hopefully it won't be that slow. I'm pretty strong. I've mixed cookie dough before though, and it's a little bit of a chore. So I might have to take a little break in between. But let me open up this flour. Alrighty, I'm actually going to keep this down here. I think I can just put my scooper in there and just scoop it out. Hopefully. That may be a little easier said than done. But this is also pre-sifted flour I purchased. Meaning that I don't have to sift it to get out the little granules. It's hopefully pre-sifted. A real baker was probably like, dude, you have to sift all of your ingredients. I don't care what the packaging says. And they're probably right. But I'm not going to do that. So I tried to buy some semi-prepared ingredients for me. And I was going to try to do this off my lap to not get flour all over myself. But like I said, there's no avoiding getting messy in this one. We have to do 4 of these half cups and then a 1/4 cup. Just hanging out at home, watching the Master Chef do his thing. Awesome, Leon, thank you for being here and hanging out. All right. Let me scoop this. Bear with me for a second. Mamas are the best. That's for darn sure. I love my mama so much. And my papa too. But nothing like the love of a mother. Okay, don't drop the flour, Tom. Sometimes you gotta use your mouth, and that's okay. Steak and potatoes with gravy and salad. Damn, that sounds so dope. Okay, we have our first half cup measurement. That was a little bit heavier than I anticipated. You saw me hanging on for dear life there. I almost dropped that measuring cup. Alright, now we have to do 4 of those because it's calling for 2 1/4 cups of flour. Let me open up the bag a little bit more to make this a little bit easier. Boom. Oh. Almost dropped it in the bowl, which is okay. We can drop it in the bowl. We just don't want to drop it outside of the bowl. There was a little bit of flour stuck in there, so let me get it all the way. Okay, that's 2 down. 2 to go. And then 1/4 cup. Sometimes I wish I still lived at home and that my mama could be making me dinner right now. But fun fact, my dad is the one that primarily cooks in our house. Why? Because my mom's not the greatest chef. She'll be the first one to admit it. She's gotten a lot better over the years from my dad's tutelage. But we have some, let's say, we have some memorable dinners from when my dad was out of town. On the few times that he was doing some traveling or something. And we'd be doing a lot of eating out. But, fun fact, she's like a master baker, which is where I think my sister got it from. Because she's made the best cookies and the best baked goods all my life. And she's still really awesome at baking. What up, Fortnite Gamer 324? What's cracking? We're baking some cookies. I hope you're catching some dubs in Fortnite. Alright, that was 3. Last one of the half cup, and then we'll do a 1/4 cup. And it's a good thing because I'm so over this flour already. What up, Thomas? How are you, dude? From one Thomas to another. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, we're doing some baking. We're doing some baking today. Trying to make some chocolate chip cookies. And we're going to see how it goes. Alright. Now, we're done with the half cup measurement for now. And we need a 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup. Oh, that's... Sorry to hear that he's passed, Leon, but that's really awesome. Yeah, my dad is also like the best chef in the world. Like, oh my god, the dinners that I had growing up, whew, so freaking good. The dinners that I still get to have. What's going on, slow roller? Oop, oop, oop. Don't drop the flour, T-Fizzle. Chocolate chip cookies. That's right. Hopefully they turn out awesome. No guarantees. Okay. We got 2 1/4 cup. I'm just gonna... It's hard for me to turn it, like to pour it out. You know, like I can hold it like... Let me get all the flour out of there. I can hold it stably with one hand, but it's hard for me to do that. To like flip it over or flip it upside down. So if you saw me kind of like drop it into the bowl right there and then turn it, like flip it into the bowl, that's why. It's just because I had to set it down before I could dump the ingredients. And that's just the quad style, T-Fizzle style. How are you, Thomas? How's the gaming going? Are you enjoying the new season of Fortnite? Okay, we're done with our all-purpose flour. I'm going to actually set this over here so it's not on the table anymore. There's a few options for light switches, about $70.86 for shipping. Ugh. Yeah, dude. Yep. That's the cost of a lot of peripherals. It's like buying a gaming controller, but you only get like one button. Like, how lame is that? It's not that good, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I haven't checked it out too much. I only played it a couple times on the new season. I was gonna maybe buy the Cowboy Bebop, the Spike Spiegel skin, but I didn't. I don't play Fortnite enough anymore. But I wasn't really digging it either. I mean, I was having some fun playing with my buddy, Jonathan. Okay. We got our flour. I still be working on YouTube videos though. That's cool, dude. That's cool. I'll be keeping an eye out for your content. Okay. Let me double check where we are at this recipe. I think the next thing we have to do is grab some butter. And we gotta melt some butter. One cup packed light brown sugar. Alright, let's do the brown sugar. Well, actually, let me whisk together brown sugar, melted butter, and granulated sugar. Whisk until... wait, I'm mad at myself. Alright, so we actually do need the other bowl. I didn't think that we were gonna need it, but we do need it. I gotta whisk this or mix this flour mixture together so that all of the ingredients are combined and uniform. Let me grab my spoon. So we can do that. I should be doing this with like a baking spatula, but this is the best that I got in my kitchen. So, you know, we're just gonna do our best. The salt is on the bottom. I gotta make sure this is very uniformly mixed. So just give me a minute while I do this. Spilt a little bit off to the side. That's okay. Let me top the edge of the bowl so this falls down. Butter makes it better. Butter makes everything better, baby. Do you still stream? I haven't been streaming. I still game like every day. But I haven't been streaming, not on Live to Roll, at least. Why is that? I don't know. I want to do it, maybe start doing it on Mondays again. But in the meantime, I have just switched it up to the cooking content and more like independent living skills and stuff. I think it's just a little bit more important, a little bit more Live to Roll related, and yeah, we're talking like more adaptive stuff. The gaming is fun and the gaming is great, but maybe we'll start like a dedicated Live to Roll gaming channel or something. Like have other people come on. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay, we gotta fold. Gotta fold the flour. We gotta make sure the baking powder and the salt is mixed throughout. The way that I'm doing that is I'm just kind of folding the flour. I know this isn't exciting. Trying to make it exciting. Albie earlier, and I think we did talk about it last week. How do you go about talking to the ladies? And let's not just like make this ladies exclusive. Let's say you want to talk to anybody that you like are interested in. Whether it's a lady or it's a guy or whatever. I would say the number one thing, dude, is always be confident. Confidence is key. Confidence can be one of the most difficult things to discover and to learn if you don't have it, but that's really probably one of the most important things. You have to be confident. You have to be willing to take some risks. The reality is that everybody that you go up and talk to might not be into you talking to them. They might not be interested, and you have to be okay with that, and be willing to take the risk of like going up and talking to somebody in a flirtatious manner, but it really comes down to kind of being confident. I think confident, just being nice, just being who you are, being your authentic self. Don't try to be disingenuous, like pretend to be something you're not. Don't give like false bravado if you're not like that kind of person. Just keep it real. Leon said it best. Like, you need to be who you are, because if you are seeking a significant other, if you're trying to find that person, you have to that they have to be cool with who you are. Like, they're not gonna be into another version of you. They're interest it's gonna work. They need to know you. They need to see you. That's cool, Thomas. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a slow grind, but you keep at it. You're so young. Before you know it, you'll be Fortnite gamer extraordinaire. We're all gonna be watching your channel. Okay. I think everything is pretty uniformly mixed. I hope it is, We're going to do more mixing later. So if it's not that well mixed, then we'll get a chance to mix it a little bit more later. Mr. Wheels, I was just talking about you. I was just talking about how much fun you and me have fun playing Fortnite together sometimes. We were just playing some yesterday. Stir it up, baby. You already know it. Thanks, Derek. I appreciate that. You're going to see me doing a lot of that today, and my shoulders are going to be sore at the end of this, or at least tomorrow when I wake up. Okay, we have our flour mixture. We have our dry ingredients. This is our flour, this is our salt, and this is our baking soda. I'm going to set this off to the side because we need to mix our other ingredients together in a separate bowl. Alright. Looking like James Harden. Haha. Damn, dude. Don't flatter me too much, Mr. Wheels. Gonna make me all blushy. Alrighty, alrighty. We got this other bowl that I had set off to the side right here. This is what we're going to mix the rest of our ingredients in. Our brown sugar, our regular sugar. We gotta put our eggs in here. We gotta Alright, let me just make sure I'm doing this in the right order. Like I said, cookies and cocktails, right? You see this bottle of gin I got right here? You see those limes that are sliced up on my cutting board? Yep, that's what we're doing. I want to get the cookies in the oven. This is going to be a long ass live, you guys. So if you hang around for all of it, I appreciate it. But we're going to be here for a little while because I have to finish mixing all the ingredients together. I got to bake them. While they're baking, I'm going to make my gin and tonic and do a little cocktail. And then hopefully the cookies will be done and we can end the live. But we still got a ways to go. But that's alright. We're here. We're hanging out all night. It ain't no big thing. We got Luke, Wheelchair Raver in the chat. What's going on, my guy? Happy Wednesday to you. I hope everything's going great out in Tejas, aka Texas. Alrighty. We mix together the flour, the baking soda, the salt. We're setting that aside in a large bowl. Add together brown sugar, melted butter, and granulated sugar, and then whisk in the eggs and vanilla extract until combined. Alright. What up, Nadine? What up, happy PT girl? Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I hope that you all are doing great, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me and keeping me company while I'm baking because we're having a lot of fun. Okay, so I need to grab my butter, get it in the microwave. This baking, this recipe, it calls for melted butter. The reason it calls for melted butter is because there's no expectation to put the dough in the refrigerator to set afterwards. This is supposed to be like, once you make the dough, it's supposed to be ready to go in the oven. So that's the reason. Normally you would add like softened butter and mix it together, but we're actually going to do melted butter today. It might go against the baking code, but that's what this recipe says online for the simplest chocolate chip cookies, and I'm gonna follow it, baby. Grab that butter, boy. You know it, Mr. Wheels. Alright, we need 1.5 sticks or 12 tablespoons. Damn, that's a lot of butter. Let me grab it out of here. I really should have set these out to soften up a little bit before I got the show started, but as you guys know, I'm never prepared. Sometimes if that looked kind of crazy, it's like, Tom, did you just throw that butter in your refrigerator? Yeah, I did. I just threw it in there. It was an empty part of my shelf, and I needed to kind of get into the back of the refrigerator. for its spot, and the only way I was reaching it is if I tossed it in there. So sometimes you just gotta throw things around. I promise it wasn't without intention. I wasn't just throwing it in there. It was purposeful, but sometimes that's what you gotta do. Okay, I need this bowl. I don't know if I can reach it. Come on, come on, come on. Toss that butter. Alright. So, we need a whole stick. And then we need a half a stick. So, we have a whole stick right here. I'm going to open this up. I'm just using my teeth. I could use my fingers, but it would take me longer. I get a little bit of butter on my lips or my chin. It's alright. It's all going there anyways. And like I said earlier in the show, for anybody that missed it, while I am doing this stuff, I'm just trying to fill the dead air with my commentary about what we're doing cooking-wise. And I will continue to do that. But if there were any other questions about other topics or anything that you wanted to talk about, please feel free to share it in the chat. And yes, chipmunk teeth Hazel. Alright, we got one stick of butter. One stick of butter, baby. I'm gonna throw that trash away. I just need a half a stick. Now, this isn't quite half a stick. There's a little bit of excess. So I'm probably going to try to cut this. I'm going to have some greasy lips. But that's okay. That's alright. Alright, I need to cut a nub of this butter off, and unfortunately my stupid Tom, brother, you do the great with your commentary. Thank you, Leon. You know, I just get a little self-conscious sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, what am I sounding like? In fact, I listen back to myself and I think I do okay. I say a lot, which I'm trying to be more conscious of, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. To lose a speech habit like that, you have to be pretty vigilant. Okay, let me grab my knife, which is over here off to the side. I should probably just eat the excess, just bite it off. You know, that's not a bad idea, but I'm going to not be a butter barbarian and try to cut it off. The only issue is I don't have much of a surface to cut this butter. Let me just try to do it on the table. I guess some chopped liver. If I missed a comment or something, I didn't mean to. Oh, Lloyd, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't see your comment. It's your brother Lloyd. You're making some wheat cookies? No, dude. Lloyd, I'm sorry that I missed the comment, bro. I got so many things going on. Sometimes I do miss a comment. So that was my bad, homie. Am I making some wheat cookies? Well, for the purposes of this video, no, I'm not. But wink, wink, maybe. I missed your comment too, Brianna. Oh my god. And I dropped my knife. Oh gosh, you guys. Give me a second. We're going off the rails on the T-Fizzle cooking show. Let me grab my grabber. And hi, Brianna. Hope you're well. I hope you're good too, Lloyd. Miss you guys. Shout out to Brianna. I think it's her life day tomorrow. 9 years. So shout out to Brianna. We're all sending you lots of love on your upcoming life day. And yeah, things are, I guess, maybe a little bit more entertaining when they're off the rails. Alright, let me cut this butter. I'm gonna open up, I just opened up my, I gotta move forward to show you guys. I just opened up my lateral support. I have this like little lateral support that kind of supports me sitting up straight. I'm gonna be leaning over, so I just popped that open so that I could lean a little bit further. Sorry if things are banging around on the table and getting kind of loud. I'm trying to be as conscious of that as possible. Okay. We got our knife. I gotta cut this nub of butter off. Hopefully, this knife should just cut through smooth as butter, but it's super cold, so I'm just gonna push down from the top of the blade. All right, we got our nub cut off. Let me, I don't want to throw this butter away. I guess I could use it for something. I'm just going to put it on my cutting table for now, and then I'll wrap it up afterwards. I should probably put it onto a container or something because it's going to soften and it's just going to be a mess to deal with. So let me just get this into the microwave. And then we will do the rest of it. This paper is like so stuck to the butter. Alright. I got that butter, baby. We're good to go. Alright, you need to start using your grabber like that, Derek. If you ever want any pointers, let me know. I could give you some details as to how I use it. I don't use my hands at all. I just use like my bicep, kind of like bending my arm. But yeah, let me know if you want me to go into more details. I need to melt this butter, so I'm gonna put it in the microwave. Hey Siri, how long does it take to melt a stick of butter in the microwave?
Do you want me to use ChatGPT to answer that?
Yes, use ChatGPT. $30 to 45 seconds. Thank you, Internet. So I'm just gonna set this bowl in there. Alright, now we're going to do 50 seconds for the butter. I need to find a pair of scissors somewhere. I'll catch up on the chat in just a second. I'm just a little far away and I can't really see it. Okay. Hey Siri, what are toasters? You're killing me, Mr. Wheels. You're killing me. Did I wash my hands? Never. I never wash my hands. No, I wash my hands. I cathed right before I went live, and I washed my hands right afterwards. And I mean, it doesn't really matter. It does matter, but I'm the only one eating this stuff. My mouth is all over everything. no. What? Jesus. Do you guys hear that? Siri thought I wanted to call emergency service. No, stop. Siri, stop listening to me. Jeez. No. Take me back. Don't make me say the name of the voice assistant on my phone anymore because it's trying to do things without my permission. Alright. Do you use glasses? Yeah, I have glasses. Do I use them? Only when my eyes are strained from like working on my computer for a long time. I'm just throwing away all of the butter paper, the butter wrapping. You're right, Jay. You are right, but I'm not that dangerous. Let me see if the butter's melted. We need a little bit more time on the butter. Let me do another 20 seconds. It was a stick and a half, so I probably needed to put a little bit of extra time on there. Mr. Wheels over here sounding like a diva. He is for Tom. That's so funny. You're killing me, Brianna. You're killing me. Alright, my hands are a little buttery. Let me wipe them off. What a Devo, yo. Don't worry about it, Mr. Wheels. I'll tell you sometime when you're a little bit older. Just kidding. Mr. Wheels is our age. He's funny old. I'm just being silly. I'm sorry if there's like bad sounds coming through the microphone when I slide things around the table. I'm gonna try not to do that too much, but I have to for some things. Okay, I'm gonna cut this packet of sugar open, and then I will look at the butter and see if it's ready to go. Alrighty. Just using my teeth, and of course it didn't work because it tore too high, and I have to cut it again from the other side and tear it again. But that's what happens sometimes when I see in the streets. Yeah, that's right. That's right, cuz. Now you see me holding the scissors with my mouth. You know, this is just what you gotta do sometimes. And I gotta cut it again. Okay, I should be able to tear it. Okay. He's not picking a fight with nobody, Brianna. Calm down. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Mr. Wheels doesn't pick fights. He only picks people to love. And that's the truth. Sharp objects trip you out? Yeah, they are a little scary. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I like it, so it's okay. Alright, we got our brown sugar prepared and ready to go. We're also going to use our granulated sugar. And then I got to get the butter first, though. So let me go grab the butter. I got them biscuits because it's butter, baby. That's a line from a hip-hop song that I really like. Just give me a second. This butter's kind of hot now, and I want to not spill it. But it's all melted. So let me grab it very carefully without spilling it all over the place. Just give me a second, you guys. Just give me a second. Give me a second. I almost got it. I almost got it. Okay. We got that butter, baby. Alright, this butter is going to go into this bowl. Like that. Just make sure we get it all out of there. I'm going to set this bowl off to the side. And now we're going to add the rest of our sugar ingredients. I'm just looking at the recipe to make sure that I'm doing everything right. Alright, we need 1 cup packed light brown sugar. We only have a 1/2 cup measurement, so we're just going to do 2 1/2 cups, and then we're going to do a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Alright, so bear with me, people, bear with me. Alright, peanut butter cookies are your favorite. Oatmeal with chocolate chip, and I may may have been talking to you. And Leon, you're right. I don't know if there is a bad cookie. Well, no, that's not true. I've had bad cookies before. My dad used to love like oatmeal raisin chocolate chip cookies, and I hate raisins. So maybe I don't go as far as to say I hate raisins. I don't really like raisins, and especially not in my cookies. Ooh, did you see that? It slid off my lap, but I caught it because I'm a ninja. Okay, let me scoop this sugar. 1 cup packed light brown sugar. And I just dropped my little teaspoon measurement. That's okay. I don't think we need it anymore. Let me get all up in this sugar. This isn't scooping as easy as the flour, but that's alright. It's a little bit more dense. But tea basil strong. Alright. That was a little risky, but that was a pro quad move, in case anybody didn't see it. Let me flatten this out and pack it, make sure it's the right amount. Alright, yeah, I think we're good. Alright, brown sugar in. That was only half a cup. Damn it, I have to do another one of those. Let me grab my sugar again. It sounds good, Thomas. I appreciate you tuning in. Say hi to your mom and the rest of your family for me. I hope they're all well. I tossed my cookies once or twice. What does that mean? Oh, like you had to throw them out? Hopefully that won't be today. I'd be kind of sad if it was. So you see what I'm doing there? I don't have both hands free because I'm holding half a cup of sugar in one other hand. So I use my teeth to pick up the bag by biting it, and then I can use my hand to kind of guide the bag. I can lean over and set it on the table so that it's nice and stable and easy. I mean, easy, maybe you could argue that, but that's how I do that without having to use both hands to pick up and hold the bag. Why did I take the bag off my lap in the first place? Well, I don't know. I just don't want to spill sugar all over me or maybe drop the bag and get it onto the floor. All right, so we have our 1 cup of light brown sugar. Bing, bang, boom. That's done. I'm moving this right into the middle of the frame. Let me get it out of the way. Now we need half a cup of sugar. Let me slide the sugar over. And I know a lot of these sounds like come through the microphone because it's sitting on the table, and the microphone's sitting on the table. I hope that's not too atrocious on the ears. All right, I just use my teeth to like hook the edge of the lid and to just pick that up, open the lid up. Don't forget to like the video. Brianna said it. If you don't do it, you're gonna be in trouble. This container is a little bit different than the bag. It's a little easier to scoop, but it's a little bit more unwieldy. So I'm gonna just hold it with my chin. Oh shit! No, don't go in the butter. Don't go in the butter. I think we saved it. Alright. Sugar's done. I'm going to set the sugar off to the side because I don't think we need it anymore. This is actually kind of physical. All this moving and stuff. If you see me like take a deep breath, I'm just catching my breath just because it's making me a little bit tired. Alright, so now we need to get our eggs and some vanilla. I have my vanilla sitting off to the side right here. I gotta go grab my eggs. Let me just make sure. Okay. Tom, when your BP is low, your ears ring? Heck yeah, they ring. My ears ring, my nose gets all runny, just like it is right now. Only when my blood pressure gets really low do my ears ring, though. Which happens more often than I wish it happened, but it is what it is. I gotta earn those cookies. That's right, Jay. Nothing comes for free. Let me throw this garbage away. I don't think I need my scissors anymore. So let me just set those off to the side. Bing, bang, boom. Alright, my nose is getting a little runny. So let me grab a paper towel so I'm not sniffling in your guys' ears too much. Alright. I'm just gonna keep this for later when I need it. Okay, cracking eggs, cracking eggs. It's not something that I do too often, but it's something that we're gonna do today, and hopefully that it goes all right. I've done it before. It's just something that I don't do too often. But cracking eggs, not too complicated. I say that it might be very complicated for a quadriplegic, and I'm just gonna make it look easy, or I'm gonna make it look really complicated and messy. It's gonna be one or the other. All right, let me set these eggs down. Right here, we're actually gonna use the butter bowl to crack our eggs into. And I'm gonna do this up on my lap. All right, we have some farm fresh eggs, baby. Shout out Mom and Papa. They have ducks. I think these are duck eggs. All right. So I've learned that you can't be afraid to really whack the egg. Cracking it is usually like the hardest part for me. Oh shit. Where you do it like that, and we got it. There's a little eggshell. I whacked it too hard. But the yolk made it in, and only one eggshell made it in. So I'm gonna call that a success. And I just dropped the rest of the eggshell in there. Well, that's okay. Let me pick it out. Just give me a second, party people. Ooh, slimy eggs, gross. Ugh, gross. Alright. I'm gonna just go to the trash and throw this away. Yeah, it's alright. We're live. This isn't rehearsed. It's all good. Alright. Now that I'm covered in egg, I have to pick out a little eggshell too. And let me grab a paper towel to clean off my hand so that it's not all eggy for this next one. Have you ever had a pet? Growing up, my family, we had a dog growing up and a couple of cats. Trey and Duchess and Java. Alright. Now I need to fish this little piece of eggshell out of my container. So let me grab a spoon so I can do that. Or maybe let me use this fork right here. wanted to get another cat or like maybe a service dog or something at some point. I just don't have enough space where I feel like it's like justified. All right. Let me just get this shell out of here, you guys. Give me 1 second. Come on. Okay. Got it. Let me make sure that there's no other shells or anything in there. No, we're clear. We're clear. That was pretty good. It was only like one little piece of shell that got in there. Maybe two, and I'm just lying to you. But we're not going to worry about that because we got it. Nice. Have you thought about a service dog? I have, Jay. I've thought about it a lot. And I've always told myself, no, I'll do it as soon as I moved. And I haven't moved. And the reason is I just want a bigger space. It's a lot for me in this small apartment. And I know that it would be even harder with a dog. I mean, I could certainly do it. And maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but that's just like my personal preference. Alright, let me do this a little bit smoother this time and not get egg everywhere. I have way milder disabilities, so I really should be able to cook better. You know, Jay Willie, it is what it is. I know some able-bodied people that can't cook to save their own life and don't like to cook and never want to cook. If it's something you're into, I don't know, I would say that a certain amount of cooking, especially simple stuff, you should be able to do just because it saves a lot of money. It's a lot healthier than eating out all the time. But if you have someone that can help prepare and cook food for you, and that's what you utilize and take advantage of, then there's no shame in that. But that's what we're doing here is kind of showcasing how I do it. So maybe you can get inspired or have some ideas as to what you want to do. Okay, so I cracked that a little bit more gently than before. I'm just going to finish cracking it. I kind of did it below the bowl there, and you couldn't really tell, but I have the whole eggshell here, and the yolk is still intact, so that went way better than the first one. But we're going to call this a total success because we got 2 eggs, we only had 1 shell. That's not bad. I don't know some able-bodied people that can do better. All right. Now we get to add the eggs to our other mixture. This fork, I'm just going to set off to the side. Fist bump, Mr. Ben Tipton. Eggs are in. Alright. I'm going to take this bowl out of here. Again, since we don't need it anymore. I'm actually going to wash my hands just because I have raw egg on them and I don't want to accidentally put it in my mouth and contaminate myself with salmonella or something. I mean, I'm sure the eggs are perfectly fine to eat. Like, people eat raw eggs all the time. Like, every day in Japan, people eat raw eggs. But I don't know, these are like homegrown. I don't know, just being extra safe. So, just washing my hands. Let me turn around. Just get my other hand. Really good, really good, really good. Alright. Let me grab another paper towel that's a little fresher. How are you, Ben? Hope you're well. Alright, just drying my hands, making sure they're nice and clean. Okay, now we have to do the vanilla extract. I have my vanilla just off to the side right here, hiding behind our flour mixture. Let me see how much we need to do for this. Um, 2 teaspoons. Okay. Is this? That's a tablespoon. Of course, the one that's on the floor is the one that I need. Nothing's ever easy. Give me a second. Let me pick this up. Got my trusty grabber. Oh, I forgot to turn my water off. Sorry. Sorry, fishies. I don't need to waste water. My disability is why I'm not very good at cooking, even though I can still do it. It also makes it hard to eat, so if I would cook every meal, then I wouldn't have free time besides cooking and eating. What up, Mo Cray? Donuts in the chat, everybody. Donuts in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. I don't think I've seen your name before. So I appreciate you stopping by. Alright, we got our little measuring spoon. Let me set this down. Alright. This is only a half a teaspoon, of course, so I have to do 4 of these bad boys. Let me see how much it is. I might just eyeball it. This is a new bottle. I'm just using my teeth to open it up. I'm just like biting down on it. I'm kind of using my head to twist a little bit. And then I'm also using my hands. Alright. I gotta pull off the little sealed lid. And we're chilling. Mo, how are you? Happy Wednesday. I hope you're well. I need to just get one of these little tabs up so I can peel it back, but they're like very stuck to the side, so just bear with me for a second. And I know we're already at like an hour and a half here, people. This is just an extra long show today. So if you're still hanging around, I really appreciate it. If you're not, no worries. If you're just getting here, what up? Chilling too, that's good to hear, Mo. Oh man, why is this so sticky? Alright. I'm actually only going to leave this open a little bit so that hopefully I can control the pour and it doesn't pour too much. What up, Em? Shout out the true baker in the family, Miss E Fizzle. I'm just measuring out my vanilla. I got my eggs and my butter and my sugar already in the bowl. I didn't open that enough. Oh, shit. I spilled a little bit. That's okay. And I'll tell you what, I think I'm just going to eyeball this, because I'm just going to spill all over the place. Let me see if I can pick this up without spilling the amount that I'm measuring in there. Oh, come on, T-Fizzle. Bam. Okay, there's one. Now we just have to do 2. You were on the Zoom meeting with Dean and some other people. Maybe I missed that stream. Are you talking about at the Abilities Expo? Or something else that I'm missing? How are you, Em? Well, if we did meet before, Mo Craig, I do apologize. And hello. Hey Siri, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? Wait. Hey Siri, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? 3. Okay, so I'm actually going to use this tablespoon measurement and just kind of eyeball it because the teaspoon one is just too tiny. I'm going to spill and waste a bunch of vanilla extract. Awesome, Mo. Well, I'm really glad you're here, dude. And I hope that you're enjoying the content. My name's Tom. I'm just one of the peeps that does content on here. But this is kind of my own show. Alright, we got our vanilla in there. I'm going to set this off to the side. Let me put the lid back on the vanilla extract so that I don't spill it or anything. Accidentally. Oh, come on, lid. This tiny, tiny, tiny little lid is hard. Okay. Lid is back on. Mo, if you don't mind me asking, what's your disability? My nose is just getting a little sniffly. Sorry, you guys. Alright, we have all of our wet ingredients. Now we have to mix them all together. I'm going to grab my mixing spoon over here. We got to mix the wet ingredients, and then we have to mix the flour and sugar, or flour and salt and baking powder into the sugar egg mixture. So let me mix this up well. I'm just going to do what I did before, you guys. I'm just going to lean off to the side like this. Let me clear some of this stuff out of the way a little bit. And I might pick it up on my lap, actually, and see if I could do this a little bit more effectively. This is a bigger bowl, so I don't have to really worry about it coming up over the sides. Just so everybody can see. I don't know if everybody can see. I don't want to pour it. It's difficult for me to show you. There is brown sugar, there's melted butter, there's eggs, and there's vanilla extract in here. A lot of sugar. We're talking like 2 1/4 cups of sugar. Alright, so you see this technique that I'm doing? This is like pretty viscous. Like it's like not the easiest to. It's not very smooth. It's not very easy to mix once the spoon is in there. The way that I'm doing it is, you see me holding it against the side of my cheek, like this. I'm just doing that. Like, I'm pressing against my hand so that I'm gripping the spoon tighter, and then I'm just kind of moving my shoulder, moving my torso, and just mixing it up, baby. Mixing it up. The reason I'm doing it kind of one-handed is so that I can keep this hand my other hand on the bowl, so that it's a little bit more stable because I have it up here on my lap. It may look a little bit complicated. It's like, wouldn't it just be easier to use two hands like this? I couldn't get as good a mix. Like, the bowl is so unsteady that I'm like really worried that it's gonna fall. And like when I do it this way, I just have a little bit more strength. I can really push into the bowl, like scrape the sides really good, and just mix it very thoroughly. You can also do this with an electric hand mixer. This recipe said you could just do it with a spatula and then it's easy. If you're using softened butter, you would have to use like an electric mixer or like an electric hand mixer because you wouldn't have to, but it would be really hard to distribute the ingredients in the butter like throughout all of this. Now, this is the easy part because this is the eggs and the butter mixture. I gotta mix this with the flour and the dry ingredients, and that's gonna be more difficult. Sorry for the dead air. I'm just focusing, making sure that everything looks very thoroughly mixed together, and I think it does. Oh man, it smells good too. Vanilla and sugar. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let me just do the last little bit. Make sure we're good to go here. Okay. We're good. Let me try to show you guys now. Maybe what we're working with. Let me lower. Bye, Thomas. Thanks for hanging around, dude. Oh, heck yeah, Jay Willie. Live to Roll is much more. We all mostly have spinal cord injuries, like the host of the show. But I'm really glad that you got represented and you feel represented because we're trying to represent for everybody, regardless of your disability. I don't know if I can tilt it up to show you guys. You'll see it when I pour. Well, I guess you'll see it after. It's just a butter, sugar, egg mixture in here. It just looks like light brown sludge at this point. But now that that's all evenly mixed together, we're going to take our flour and our baking powder and our salt, and we're going to toss it in this bigger bowl. I'm going to just do like half of it at first. I'm going to do a little bit of stirring, and then I'm going to add the rest, just because it might be too difficult if I added it all at once. And sounds good, Jay. Thanks for hanging around, dude. I appreciate you stopping by, and hope you enjoyed yourself. All right, let me pour some of this in here. Like I said, I'm gonna just do like half of it. I'm kind of just shaking it in there. Okay, that maybe a little bit more. It's gonna start to get real thick, and the stirring is gonna get a lot more difficult. Okay, let me just set this off to the side. Let me mix this other bowl a little bit more. And then we're going to add the rest of it. And then we get to bake them. And then we get to make a cocktail. And then we get to have some cookies. So there's a little bit more content here, people. We might be here for a little while longer. We got no pressure to stay or hang around. If you're getting bored or anything, I totally understand. But I appreciate everybody that has stopped by, that's been watching, that's going to continue to watch. Y'all are the greatest. Alright, I'm just tilting my chair back a little bit to give myself a little bit of stability. I'm going to pick this bowl back up, which is starting to get a little bit heavy now that I added the drier ingredients, and we're mixing, baby. We're mixing. And we're going to be mixing for a couple minutes. Just FYI, everyone. This is going to take a little while. I think you're doing a good job for representing everybody, since there are so many difficult disabilities that would require someone to use a wheelchair. Thanks, dude. And yeah, we try to have guests on with different disabilities too. Just to, like you said, represent for everybody, because it's so important. If you don't mind me asking, Jay, what's your disability? I'm just scraping the sides. There's just a little bit of flour up on the sides, so I'm just trying to scrape everything. Make sure I have it all. We're actually doing pretty good. Oh. Alright. We're getting there, we're getting there. You can kind of see it's starting to thicken up. Now that most of that has been integrated, let me pour in the rest of the powder. I'm getting a good workout, that's for sure, Derek. It's like a triple workout, because getting all this stuff set up is a little workout in itself. Especially getting the table unfolded and upright and everything, and just getting everything prepared. That's one workout. And then I get to make the food, which is another workout. And then I get to clean up everything after, which is another workout. And I promise I'm not complaining about any of it. It's all well worth it. Even the cleanup, which is probably my least favorite part, but you know, sometimes it can be fun. Put on some music, put on a show or something. Alright, yeah, we're getting there, Em. Cookies, woo! Let me pour in the rest of these dry ingredients and get to working out a little bit more. Just give me a second, you guys. Just shake it out, shake it out. Just like T Swift, shake it out. PT and Cooking with Tom, let's go. Your neck is getting a good workout stirring that up, that's right. I got a pretty strong neck though. And all the effort that you put into cooking, strength-wise or otherwise, you get rewarded, because in proportion the food tastes better the harder you work for it. So if you work really hard, the food tastes really good. Does get a little harder the more it thickens up. The more dry ingredients you add in, obviously it's gonna thicken up, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely. And we are getting there. It's starting to look good. We still have, I'll show you guys in a second. Let me just try to trigger a spasm so my blood pressure can stop falling off the cliff. Cooking was my favorite thing to do in therapy, yeah. That was probably one of my favorite things to do in OT when I was first learning how to do this stuff. Alright. Now you saw how much easier that was going through the dough when it was very viscous and liquidy. Now it's like real thick. But you just still have to keep going. There's no shortcuts. I'll give my neck a break and just scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, try to incorporate everything. Right? That's the worst part about that part of OT is as soon as you get it down, they're like, well, now you don't get to cook anymore. It's like, son of a biscuit. Alright. Just gotta grab my paper towel. Because my nose is running. Don't want to get any snot in my cookies. Now, if you're challenging yourself to try to cook and do this, you know, you can always just challenge yourself to add certain ingredients into the bowl. If you need help mixing, that's perfectly fine. This is definitely a more advanced thing, which is like mixing really sticky, thick cookie dough. That being said, there's no timer on this, you know, like you could take as many breaks as you need to. You can take as much time as you need to do it, and that's the beautiful thing. Alright. We're almost there, people, I promise. Cooking usually hurt my legs standing up, so it will oddly enough be easier for me to cook once I start needing to use a wheelchair. And I saw earlier you said you're hypermobile with EDS. Shout out. I think you guys call yourselves the Zebras? Is that like what the Earlers Downloads people call themselves? Maybe not all of them, but I've heard that or seen that before from some other people that I know with Earlers Downloads syndrome. And I apologize for butchering that pronunciation. Earlers Danlos syndrome. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, EDS is a really unique condition that affects your joints. And I think it can affect a lot of things, but it can make your joints really stretchy and your tendons really stretchy and really fragile. And I think over time, it can start to affect your mobility in more serious ways. I do apologize if I'm speaking totally off term right here. But I did know someone with EDS. And I think that's how they explained it to me. Alright. Alright. Alright, this is super, super mixed up. I'm going to show you guys. There's the dough. I don't want to tilt it too far. Now we just have to add the chocolate chip cookies. Hey, so how did you do it? How did I do what, Albie? Is that from the conversation that we were having earlier? I just need a second, you guys. My blood pressure is just falling off a cliff. Okay. Yes, we do. I've even had my Earlers Download Society hoodie today. And, okay, cool, Jay Willie. I'm glad. I really try to be respectful and considerate and know my stuff. So I'm glad that I was able to be accurate. Alright. We got some Ghirardelli Premium Baking Milk Chocolate Chips that we're going to toss in here. I need to... My phone is hanging off the side of my wheelchair right now. Just give me a second, you guys. The reason I gotta grab it is because I need to look at how many chocolate chips give me 1 second, you guys. I lost my recipe. My phone was doing crazy things while it was off to the side. So, okay, I found it again. We're back. And we need 12 ounces, 1 package, about 2 cups of chocolate chips. Now I'm actually going to alter this a little bit because I don't like my chocolate chip cookies super chocolate chippy. Let me see how many ounces are in this package. That would be where does it say? Where does it say? Alright, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm honestly just gonna eyeball it. I have these measuring cups over here, but I'd spill chocolate everywhere if I didn't do it. I thought your kiwis were avocados. Hey, that's funny. Albie, yeah, what you asked earlier. Okay, we can get back to it. I did talk on it a little bit. I don't know if you were here for that. You asked about talking to people. How do you rizz up a lady or someone that you're interested in? And let me just get this packaging open. I'm just going to open up this corner a little bit more. Yeah, no worries, Albie. Just give me 1 sec. I just had to use my mouth for that part, and I couldn't talk to you. Alright. I don't know if that's 2 cups, but it's certainly more than a cup, and I'm gonna just go with that. Let me set these off to the side since we don't need them anymore. I have some paper towels I've tucked under my leg. I'm gonna just toss those. Get a fresh paper towel. And then we're going to mix up our chocolate into our ingredients. Or into our dough, rather. Alright. Jay Willie said, my joints and ligaments are properly attached, so I use crutches on occasion. But that won't last indefinitely, so I'll need to get a wheelchair in my 30s or earlier if I need to, yeah. Well, you got an awesome community of wheelchair users to support you when you have to make that transition, so that's good. And Albie was asking about talking to people, having the confidence to go up and talking to a lady, or if you so choose, a guy, or someone in between. And I think when we talked about it earlier, we were talking about confidence. We were talking about having confidence. I would say that's probably the biggest ingredient to talking to other people, at least if you're like interested in them romantically, is confidence goes a very long way with people and getting their attention. Confidence, however, isn't very easily learned, um, and it could take some practice. Um, you also have to be willing to like take some risks when you're trying to talk to somebody. I mean, if you're like interested in a friend or somebody that you know, that could be a little bit easier. But let me tell you, it's gonna feel a little bit risky and a little nervous if you reveal your feelings or something. It's gonna take some guts to do that. So confidence really is key. Confidence will help with that part of it, and kind of putting yourself out there, taking the risks. You have to be prepared, for everything, even if they're like not into you and stuff. Like, you have to be ready for that too, which can be difficult. It can, certainly affect you, and it can hurt your confidence a little bit if someone did end up saying they weren't interested or something. But that's going to happen. It's just part of life, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be ready to accept it, and you just have to be ready for it. You can kind of like psych yourself up. It's not the end of the world if someone does say that they're not interested or they already have a partner or something. But confidence goes a long way. If you're not too confident with yourself, especially, I understand how difficult that can feel, how difficult it can be when you have a disability. I wish I had like a secret, like here's how to do it. Here's how to feel good about yourself. Here's how to have good self-esteem and feel confident. I wish there was like just some like secret thing I could tell you that you could do, and that would be it. But that's not the case. The only way to garner confidence and self-esteem is over time. It's by working on yourself in ways that you can, by accepting yourself and things that you can't change about yourself, like your disability. Like there's no fixing everything. And if you can't fix it, if you can't change it, then it's really important that you accept it and you accept yourself. You have to love yourself first. You have to like feel good and confident and love yourself before somebody else can love you. It's just the name of the game. I would really encourage you, if you are trying to meet other people, maybe you're asking, what do you think about dating apps? Good or trash? They can be good and they can be trash. I think they're mostly trash. I don't know. The internet's a weird place, especially if someone's behind a screen on their phone. You need to be prepared that people might be rude, or they just might ghost. Like, everybody gets ghosted, able-bodied or not. But that never feels good if you're talking to someone and they just stop talking to you. I have like gone on some dates, like met people through dating apps. So it can be done, but I just say tread carefully. If you do go the dating app route, I would say, maybe put that you're a wheelchair user in your bio, or do a picture of you in your wheelchair. I think it's really important to be honest about that from the start. It's honestly going to weed out a lot of people that aren't awesome, like that maybe would not want to date a person with a disability. Like, if somebody want to be open, or like be so judgy that they want to be open-minded to dating someone in a wheelchair, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with that person in the first place. So the fact that I put myself out there, like picture in my chair, I mentioned that I have a disability in my bios, then that will kind of like weed out anybody that's a deal breaker from the start, because it's just out there. They know they could swipe left or whatever, and it just avoids not so awesome people. Let's just put it that way. And yeah. Dating, I don't know, dating's a funny thing too. I think a lot of people are like, I want to meet someone right now. Love yourself first. I would say, you know, if you can get comfortable and be comfortable um, out of a relationship, then you'll be ready to be in a relationship. If you are very, very, very desperate to like be in a relationship with someone, I don't know, that's just not a cute look. Desperation isn't really pretty. Um, so patience, patience, patience. Sometimes you just gotta let it happen. You gotta let the universe take its course and do its thing. You can increase your chances by being social, by putting yourself out there. Not even necessarily by yourself. If you have some friends that want to go out with you, if you want to go to like a local meetup for people that share similar interests for you, you know, like for me, it would be going to um, like a D&D group or something. You know, there's like um, lots of local things like that that happen around here in LA that you can like join even if you don't know anybody. Um, Go and get involved in things that you're interested in at public events, and I promise that will increase your chances a lot to meet somebody. Um, just because the odds are, you know, there's like some similar interests that overlap. Um, I'd say just put yourself out there in a positive way, to just be out there and be social. And I, you can certainly have like the idea or the expectation in the back of your head, like, oh, I really love to have a girlfriend or something. But just try to be friendly first, you know. Like, don't like jump deep, like in the deep end into like, hey, you want to go out on a date or something? Like if you first meet someone that you're interested in, you know, let it percolate a little bit. See, you know, how you guys get along and stuff in maybe a friend capacity before you know, reveal your feelings. I always got to be friends with who I end up dating if, you know, like that's like really important for me. Um, and yeah, let's see. Let me catch up on these comments. You definitely have to have a thick skin to be on apps. I have friends that have found love, but they had to go through a lot of bad dates. Yep, yep, you're hitting the nail on the head, Brianna. Able-bodied people struggle on apps too. It just takes time, and that is also the truth. I don't know if it's much easier for able-bodied people on apps either. It's just the Wild West out here. And I thought we were baking goods, bruh. I feel sad. Don't feel sad, Mr. Wheels. Just call me afterwards and I'll keep you company. And Mr. Wheels, if you don't know Jonathan, Jonathan's like a jokester. Like, a lot. This is purely a compliment, but a lot of what comes out of John's mouth, don't take too seriously because, especially here on the Live to Roll show, T-Fizz will cook him because he's just joking a lot. But he's also speaking some truth. Like, it can feel sad. You not answer. Tom, you're a transformer. When did I not answer? Alright, you guys. Just getting back to the cooking. This dough is real thick. You can see the chocolate chips being mixed into the dough. I'm just trying to make sure that they are as uniformly incorporated as possible. But at this point, the dough is like super thick. So, that's why it's just taking me a minute. Plus, I'm also talking. So, alright, you guys. I think that's about gonna do it. I mean, that's looking good, if I do say so myself. Take a fat swig, bruh. I'm going to. I've deserved it. I've earned it at this point, I should say, rather. And my phone keeps falling off to the side of my lap. Thank God it's connected to this cable. Otherwise, I would have dropped it a bunch of times. Um, that is looking good. I'm hungry for chocolate chip cookies. I like them thick. All right, I got you. I got you, Mr. Wheels. And I honestly think that psychosocial disabilities are more likely to make dating difficult than purely physical slash somatic disabilities. But I share a similar sentiment, Jay Willie. I don't know. The most common thing that I've seen, like, and I've not just seen it, but I've experienced it for myself firsthand. Um, your disability can really hit your confidence sometimes. Even at the start of dating, it can, while you're dating, it can hurt your confidence. That's just kind of the nature of disability. I, yeah, I think like the social, everyone like has to overcome like the social element of it. The disability part, it's just tough. It can be really tough. I would say like, also if you are like earlier on into your disability and you're like really thinking about trying to date, get in a relationship, I think it's really important to know your disability and understand your body a lot before you enter into a relationship. I just think it's super super important. Um, all right, I'm hiring Leon. You guys just have to come out to Cali and hang out with me. Um, Ciudadano reaching. What? You be making me nervous? What? Alright, you guys, now we gotta bake this sons of bitches. Let me look at where I gotta set my oven to. Alright, so it does say to chill for 15 minutes. While the oven preheats. So I'm going to set this in my refrigerator for a few minutes while I set up the oven. We'll get started on the cocktail. And yeah. $3.50. Thanks, Em. Alright, let me just put this carefully into my refrigerator. The last thing I want to do is drop all this dough on the floor. What part of Cali? I'm in Southern California. Straight out of the San Fernando Valley, sucker. Alright, that's gonna chill. M said 350. Let me just double check what this recipe says. Although I'm sure she's right. This says 325. I didn't use softened butter. I used melted butter instead, M. This is like a slightly different than traditional recipe. So maybe that's why 325. Alright, set this to bake. 325. Oh wait, let me take out my cookie tray. Alright. Drop it. No, Mr. Wheels, how dare you? It's a sham. I know. Alright. Let me actually set this off to the side for a minute. So I'm looking at my clock. And I got an eye for 15 minutes. We might cut it a couple minutes short, but that's okay. You guys see all my residual cocaine left over on the desk. Just kidding, it's flour and baking powder. Alright, I need to grab a tonic water and I need to grab a cup. I got my tonic water in the fridge, so I probably should have grabbed one of those when I was over there. Give me a second. Of course. They make it really difficult packaging. Give me a second. I don't want to drop these. They're glass, so I'm just being really careful. It's a convection oven, Leon. It's going good, Jay. The cookie dough is in the refrigerator chilling for 15 minutes. I got it all under control, baby. It's a convection oven, Leon. And I know, Brianna, I know. He's about to start a fire in my pants. Damn, Mr. Wheels. You're killing me. Okay. I have a bottle opener right here on the wall. The Lipterol logo is actually covering it up. But it's a wall-mounted bottle opener. I have to elevate to get up to it. You guys aren't going to be able to see... Actually, no, I'm not going to worry about it. This bottle opener is awesome because you just hold it up. You don't have to hold the bottle opener. You can hold the bottle with two hands and just pop the lid off. Super, super easy. I got that a long time ago. You can't see it, but it's like a Stormtrooper themed bottle opener. And the coolest part about it is there's a little magnet underneath where the bottle opener is, and it catches the lids so they stick to the magnet and they don't fall on the floor. Super freaking cool. That's my little adaptive wall-mounted bottle opener, but they're pretty popular for people that are able-bodied as well. It's not just an adaptive thing. Okay, we got our bottle of gin here. The bottle lid is kind of hard to get off, so bear with me for a second. No comments, Mr. Wills. No naughty comments. That's my sister, Emma. Mr. Wheels. I don't know if Mama Conway's in the chat, or is she in the chat and I missed it? Okay. So I got my gin open, I got my tonic. We already sliced our limes at the beginning of the show. I'm not going to pour it out into a shot glass. I'm just going to eyeball it because I'm a baller like that. We have our St. Patty's Day Guinness glass. Happy St. Patty's Day to everyone. That was on Monday. I went to an Irish bar on Sunday, and they had this deal where if you bought an Irish beer, you would get a Guinness beer pint glass for free. And so I did that, and I got my little Guinness glass. So that's what we're going to use here. I'm going to pour in my gin first. I'm going to try to get the right amount. And M just said it, Mr. Wheels. You are welcome anytime you want to roll up. You know, don't do this, but you could probably roll up without even letting us know you're going to roll up. And my parents would like be more than welcoming. But I know they keep telling me they want to have you and Lloyd and the rest of your family anytime you guys want. All right, we'll do a little heavy pour. There we go. Yeah, this is a double. Don't judge me. That was a pretty heavy pour of gin. All right, let's add our tonic. This isn't the right glass for this, but it don't matter. It's an accessible glass, and it's the one that I wanted to use today. So yeah, we added our liquor. We added our tonic water. I'm gonna grab. Let me just get rid of this. Normally, gin and tonics are served with a wedge of lime. I'm glad you think that, Jay Willie. That's how it's supposed to be. We gotta support each other. Don't worry, Brianna. I'm not gonna be hungover tomorrow. I promise. I promise. I promise. This is the only drink I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm being really cautious with my bladder right now, so I might not even drink the whole thing. I just wanted to make it right. And so there we go. We got our gin and tonic with a little wedge of lime on the edge of the glass. Boom! Let's go! Hey, Nikki. How are ya? We're doing cookies and cocktails today. So thanks. We just made up a little gin and tonic. We have our chocolate chip cookie dough cooling in the refrigerator right now. In fact, it should be ready to go in the next couple minutes, and then you guys get to hang out with me while we bake. And I never really answered your question. I just reassured you I wasn't going to be hungover tomorrow. How many drinks does it take for me? 2 or 3. It depends. If I have like 2 drinks and then I drink at least like 12, 20 ounces of water before I go to bed, I'll be just fine. So I'm just squeezing the lime in there. I don't like it just sitting there on the rim. I gotta squeeze it and drop it into my drink. So there we go. And so it doesn't just depend on the alcohol that I consume. It depends on how much food I eat and what I drink afterwards that's not alcohol. So I can usually curb my hangover pretty good by just drinking a lot of water after I drink. So I'll stop drinking at a certain hour, and then I'll just stick to water. If I get a little carried away with my drinking, I'll try to like chug a bunch of water when I get home. Sometimes that can make me feel a little sick. I know, Lloyd. I know. I mean, you haven't seen me on 5 shots of tequila, bro. But let me tell you, that's a nasty hangover. There's not any amount of water in the world that could make that better. So yeah, it just depends. Just depends, B. And how are you, Nikki? I miss you and Ashley so much. Cheers, you guys. Here's to you. That's not too shabby. I maybe went a little heavy on the gin. But that's okay. I'm going to put the lid back on this. Get it out of the way. Boo. Don't worry, I sprinkled a little bit in there. I know you guys do. We gotta come out to Chi-Town sometime soon. Alright, the lid is back on that. Don't give me tomatoes. Come on, don't give me tomatoes. Okay, I'm gonna start to preheat the oven. Alright. We're almost there, people. We are almost at the end of this. We just have to bake our cookies. Chicago. Shout out Chi-Town. Let me move my drink out of the way. Let me take a sip of it first. They came out here. I think they were the last ones to come out here. Or maybe did they come out here and then we went back one time? I can't remember. Cookie sheet. Now I kind of fudged up. Sorry if that was atrociously loud when I set that on the table. I didn't mean for it to be. I washed my pan, my cookie sheet really good. There's just like some carbon stuck on there from previous bakings. So I promise it's clean. It's not like a dirty cookie sheet. I was supposed to get parchment paper or a silicone baking mat to do this on. That's what the recipe calls for. I have neither of those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to butter the bottom of the pan and hope for the best. It says it really just affects like the fluffiness of the cookies. They tend to flatten out from the excess heat of the pan. If you put like a parchment paper or a silicone baking mat down, I guess it's supposed to mitigate that. But I don't have that, so I don't even have oil to spray on my pan, so we're just gonna roll some butter all over the pan. And yeah, my hand's getting buttery. Get over it. These cookies are gonna be extra buttery. Don't worry about it. Just gonna try to get all the edges. I think we went to Chicago Expo first, and then they came for Rolette's Experience, and now it's their turn. And then we went, and now it's their turn. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what I remember. You're going to Chicago in June? Leon, I'm coming with you, dude. I'm not even joking, bro. Maybe we can meet up. How sick would that be? I mean, I don't want to just crash your trip. But it would be fun. Okay, now, I know this looks kind of wild. Because the butter's not super melty. But it is what it is. Well, the butter is super melty. Usually, when I've seen this before, they like take a stick of butter and just kind of rub it. This was really melty butter, but it's okay. I think it's gonna make the cookies extra delicious. And now I got this like gross knob of butter. I gotta get out of here. I'm actually just gonna put this on a paper plate and deal with it later. Let me grab a paper towel to clean off my buttery hands, and then we will put the cookies on the baking sheet. I'm with Nikki. I want to go to Chicago. I want to go see more of the city. I don't want to dox your neighborhood, but I want to go back to your neighborhood and eat some yummy Puerto Rican food. P.S. You like it when my hands get messy. Thanks, Mr. Wheels. I know you do. And that's true, you guys. Like, you missed out on the real LA experience. We could go to Universal Studios. We could go to Disneyland. We can go to downtown and eat yummy food. And go to the world's oldest bookstore. Okay. Pan is buttered. Now we're going to put some cookies on it. Let me grab the cookies out of the fridge. Before we do that, though, let me look at how to do this. Alright, take out 2 tablespoons of dough and roll the dough between your hands to form a round ball. If the dough is still sticky or hard to work with, let it chill in the fridge until it's more firm. Repeat. Place the dough balls about 2 inches apart on the prepared baking sheet. Okay. Yeah, don't worry, Nikki. We're coming to Chicago, and we'll bring Brianna, even if she doesn't want to come. We'll just kidnap her. Don't worry. You didn't even go to the museum, Brianna, and now you need to go to the Fields Museum. It was epic. And yeah, we went for the expo. We also got to see some of the city, but we gotta just go for the vacation, no expo. Alright, I got my cookie dough. The bowl's kind of heavy. But it's definitely chilled a lot. Let me de-elevate. I will show you guys the final result. And I gotta say, this looks dope. It looks as good as any chocolate chip cookie dough I've ever seen. Or at least I think it does. I hope it turns out good. I hope I didn't ruin it by forgetting to get parchment paper at the store. Alright, so I need to roll out some balls. Oh yeah, this is firmed up real nice. It says 2 tablespoons. Let me see. This is kind of fun. I don't know if that's big enough. We're gonna do some variation. But there's one cookie ball. And yeah, we're just hanging right now and talking. I can if there is anything else that I haven't touched on that you guys want to talk about. I know we've been streaming for a long time. And I'm trying to keep this going to the end here, but if there is any other topics that you guys want to talk about or anything, please let me know, because I can talk while I form my little dough balls. And this is my favorite part. When my family makes snickerdoodle cookies, this is the part that I always do. I always roll out the snickerdoodle balls, the cookie balls, and dip them in the cinnamon sugar. So this is one of my favorite parts of making the cookies. What new shows or movies have you seen lately? I saw Mickey 17 with M recently, which was a cool, fun, sci-fi movie. It was kind of like a dark comedy. It was pretty silly, but it was good. It's got Robert Pattinson in it. Shout out Edward from Twilight. I also saw the new Captain America recently. It was kind of meh. Not gonna lie. I mean, maybe I just missed Steve Rogers. But I like the Falcon and now Captain America. 2 inches, Tom. 2 inches. I'm familiar with 2 inches. Don't worry about it. Oh, man. You're killing me, Mr. Wheels. You're killing me. Next time I'm going to do this with my sister. I don't know if she wants to come on the live, but maybe I can talk her into it. It'll expedite the process. And yes, I just dropped a chocolate chip cookie. Son of a biscuit. The first movie is called Mickey 17. It has Mark Ruffalo in it. It has Robert Pattinson. It has some other Stephen Wynn. Some other good actors. It was directed by Bong Joon-ho. He's a South Korean director. The movie's in English. It's not like it's in Korean or anything. But he's a very famous South Korean movie director. He did like Parasite and a couple other really awesome movies that I love. So I really recommend it. What shows have I watched recently? Mostly just some anime. I've been watching an anime show called Solo Leveling, which is pretty cool. Shout out anybody else that's watching that. What other shows have I been watching? I went back and was watching like an old love you, Mr. Wheels. Thanks for hanging out for so long, dude. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Much love to you and Lloyd and your mama and the rest of the squad. Sending it right back to you. Another show I was watching recently is technically, it was like a rewatch. It's called Mindhunter. If you haven't seen this, Brianna, you'll love it. It's not a true crime, but it's a fictional story about FBI agents that are starting the behavioral sciences unit for the FBI. So, like the BSU is like the show Criminal Minds. Like those guys work for the FBI for the behavioral science unit. And this show is about the FBI agents that founded the unit and how they got all their information about profiling serial killers. And they did that by interviewing serial killers, even before they had the word serial killer. So, like, really famous serial killers like Ed Kemper and the co-ed killer and Charlie Manson, stuff like that. They interview them in the show, and it's just really fascinating. It's really cool. I watched it when it first came out, but it got recommended it to me, and I was doing a little rewatch, and it was really good. It's on Netflix. It's called Mindhunter. Start it so we can talk about it. Alright, we got almost all of our dough balls formed. We're almost there, people. We're almost there. We just need 2 more. And then we can pop it in the oven. This is going to be a big boy. This was an extra big cookie. I don't know if you're still around, Nikki, but how's your family? How's the rest of the fam? How are your parents? Tell them I say hi and send my love. If it's not too much trouble. And also tell Ashley I say hi too. Okay. Alright. Last one, you guys. I still have a lot of dough left, but I'll bake the rest of the cookies or I'll put it in my fridge and bake it tomorrow. Hi, Nadine. We are good. Yes, we are. Okay. We used a good amount of the dough. There's still a lot of dough in there, but I can see that. I was about to say, hey, what happened to your username? But thanks for hanging and still being here. We're almost there, Nadine. We're almost there. Alright. The cookie dough is off to the side. All my cookie dough balls are formed. Let me grab a paper towel. And not knock them all over. Of course, I pulled off like 15 of them. Cookies are my thing. I'm loving this. I'm glad. Mo, you can't. You can't find me on Facebook. And you can't find me on Instagram. The way that you can find me is you can email me, Tom Conaway. That's TomConaway at sbcglobal.net. I have my literal email too, which is the same. It's Tom Conaway at livetorol, livetorol.org. But I recently got logged out on my literal email. I just talked to Sean today about getting reconnected. So you can email me. That's probably the best way to get in touch. Is Tom Conaway. That's TomConaway at livetorol.org, livetorol.org. And then from there, if you want to call me or like have a more serious discourse, I can just give you my number and we can talk. But yeah, you gotta either email me or find me on the streets, as Nadine said. You're right. Do you have streams where you aren't cooking and just talking to the chat? No, I don't. You're the second person to ask me that. Maybe I'll do just like a just chatting stream here soon. I don't know. I always feel like it'd be too boring. Like, you guys need some visual stimulation. Let me get these in the oven. Alrighty, those are in the oven. Let me see how long we have to bake them for. Alright, until they're beginning to brown and they're soft and puffy. It says 15 minutes. So we just need to chill for 15 minutes. I might start to clean up a little bit, but I'm mostly here to just chat with you guys. So, Jay Willie, if you're interested in just chatting, well, now that's what we're doing for the next 15 minutes at least. Until these cookies are ready. And to that point, why don't I grab my drink and we can just sit and chat and hang out for a couple minutes. I'm a little tired, I'm not gonna lie. We've been going for, I don't know, like over 2 hours now. And it's wearing on me a little bit. But I'm here, and I'm smiling. And I'm doing alright. Sorry my head's a little bit cut off. I adjusted the camera a little lower so you guys could see the table with a better vantage. But because of that, like, I mean, not that the top of my head's that important. You guys can see the important parts of me. But that's why it's kind of popped up like that. How are you, Nadine? How have you been? What's new with you? What's going on with life? And how are you, Mo? I don't think I ever asked that. Are you from SoCal too, Mo? Or where are you from? Sounds good, Jay Willie. I think I'm going to sleep after this stream too. I'm feeling pretty tired after all that baking. I still gotta make some dinner. But I'm on a little bit of a fast right now, so I think I could put something together real quick. I'll shout them out because they're sponsors for the Live to Roll channel. Mobility professionals and urology professionals, thank you guys for sponsoring Live to Roll. I don't have the banner set up to put up, so You guys have heard it a million times if you have ever watched the literal videos, but we do have a couple sponsors. I think Sean puts them in the description of the video, and if not, they're mobility professionals and urology professionals. They help you out. Their mobility professionals is a I'm not totally fasting. I'm just like eating light portions for the next couple days. And yeah, gin and tonic fast. Let's go. It's clear liquid. I think it counts. Oh man, you're killing me. You're killing me. And you're from Southern California? Sweet dude. That's good to know. Yeah, you gotta. I don't go out to many of the events, at least not as much as the rest of the Live to Roll crew. But I hope I get a chance to meet you someday. Since we live so close to each other. Oh, I lived in San Fernando Valley since 2018 all the way up until 2024. I live in San Fernando Valley, bro. Where are you? What? You don't have to specify. You can email me. And we can get connected. But I live in the San Fernando Valley. I live in Northridge. Oh, you're in Oklahoma for the moment. Oh, okay. Until 2024, I forgot it's 2025. Damn, man, I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to connect before you headed to Oklahoma. But, you know, your Valley fam is always out here for you. Let me check on the cookies. Well, they're getting puffy. They're getting real puffy. Maybe a little too puffy. I want to go out and be more social. There are just so few venues that do that where I live in Europe. I hear you, dude. It can be hard. It can be even hard here in Southern California. I don't know if it's for Europe. I've been advertised like there's apps for like meeting people. It's called like Meetup. I know there's an app called Meetup where it's people with like similar interests to like organize hiking trips or organize gaming events or trading card events or things like that. There might be a chance to. I didn't open the door, Em. Don't worry, I didn't open the door. Miss Baking Professional over here, thank you for the advice. I really appreciate it. Because there's a chance that I would have done that. I want to go out and be, yeah, so just maybe Google meetup opportunities in your local area. What are your interests? Jay Willie? What do you like to do for fun? If you don't mind me asking, no pressure to share if you'd rather not. And let me just look at how much time we have. I had 15 minutes on the timer, but I have to get them out of there. Alright, there's 9 minutes left. What I'm going to do, just to kind of help prepare. No, don't apologize, Em. I appreciate you patrolling. Hoping these cookies turn out alright. So I'm gonna grab a towel off of my little pantry area where I keep my towels. The reason is I have to grab the oven tray. I have to grab the oven tray, and it's gonna be super hot. Normally when I bake things, I will. Let me stop talking until I move this cutting board. Hang on. I just wanted to clear some space so I can lay out some paper towels to put my cookies on to cool. What I was saying a moment ago was I'll usually wait for whatever I'm baking to cool down in the oven for a couple minutes before I grab it, so it's not like insanely hot and I don't risk burning myself. But that's not an option today because cookies and baked items cannot sit and cool down in the oven. They will overcook, or even on a hot pan. So once I get them out of the oven and over to the table, I actually have to get them off of the baking pan and onto a cooler surface to cool down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just clearing off a space. Just bear with me for a minute. It depends on what European country. Some are pretty great, while others are very asocial. It's a massive range of how sociable the countries are. That's really interesting. If you don't mind me asking, and maybe you answered this for me before, I apologize for forgetting, but what country are you from, Jay Willie? Excuse my burp. Albie, not at all. Were you able to hang around to hear what I said? That's okay, it's just a soap bottle. Not important. And Albie, you can ask anything. Nothing is a bother, that's for sure. If it's for some reason not appropriate for the show, then I might say something, but otherwise, pretty much anything is on the table. Okay, we got our cookie. We got a place for our cookies to cool down. Okay, cool. I'm glad you heard. I don't really want to say, but the countries I've lived in for the most part are France and Sweden, in Europe and South Africa, outside of Europe. Totally cool. Thank you for sharing what you did, and no pressure at all. Not trying to dox anybody. But I do appreciate you sharing what you did. Just to give me an idea, I like to paint a picture of who I'm talking to. Alrighty. We got a couple minutes left. I'm not going to open the door, but I'm going to shine my flashlight. Okay. We did pretty good. The only thing is that the cookies are really big, and that they're kind of smushing together, like they're touching on the sides. So I didn't space them, or I rolled them a little bit too big, but that's okay. We're just gonna have some big, thick boys. And yeah, we just have like 3 or 4 more minutes, and then they're gonna be good to go. They're starting to get golden brown just a little bit. We'll get them a little bit more golden brown, and then we'll wrap up and we'll be done. It smells really good in here. They're smelling awesome. And I just want to say thank you again to everybody that's hung around this whole time for the whole stream. You guys are the realest. I hope you're having a good time. And nice, Nadine. I had a Pizookie not too long ago at BJ's, and I gotta say, it really wasn't that great. I could tell by the ball size, lol, but it's like a cookie bar. It will be very delicious, thanks, Al. This is like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's like my first time baking fully independently. I've participated in a lot of baking activities over the years, but I've never fully done this by myself. So, it was a little bit of a learning curve for me too, at least when it comes to the cooking stuff. The pan cools down fast once it's out of the oven, so no harm leaving the cookies on the pan for a few minutes to cool down. Okay. Thank you, Em. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank God for aluminum physics. Let's go! Alright, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. They're looking perfect. I'm just gonna let them finish up. I want the middle to be good. And yeah. Hi, Padre. Padre Smurf in the building. What's going on? We did a lot of baking today. You missed a little bit, but that's okay. I really appreciate you stopping by and saying hey. You should have asked the pro sis for tips beforehand. I wanted to just throw myself into the fire and see what I could do. But you're right. I should have. I could have. I wasn't sure that I was gonna do cookies today until the day of, and I was just like, you know what? Let's do this, T Fizzle. You got this. Doing pretty good, Pod. How are you, Padre? Padre Smurf. How's your day going? And yeah, what you missed is we just made some cookies. Thanks, Av. I appreciate it. Alright, let me go check my cookies. They should be almost done. I'm just going to take a sip of this real quick. Thank you, Nadine. I really appreciate it. Alright, these are smelling baked and ready to go. I'm just gonna look one more time at my flashlight. Alright, these are ready. These are ready. Okay, wish me luck, you guys. Actually, I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna grab a towel to put on my lap too. That way I can transport the tray over without burning myself. So close. So close, yet so far away. Okay. Let me set this down. Spastic but feeling fine. Well, I'm good to hear. Drum roll, that's right, Leon. Let's see. And Technological Monk, what up? Let me grab these cookies real quick. Alright, I'm not gonna talk too much during this part just because I want to concentrate, make sure I don't drop these. I'm just gonna try to pull it out of the oven just a little bit more. I'm gonna use a spoon. Okay. Now let's do this thing. Now my spasms are happening. Stop it, spasms. All right, I got it. Let me keep it on the towel a little bit, or not. Boom. There's my cookies, people. That was a little tricky getting it out of there, just because there's a lot of weight on the pan. That was a little difficult for me to do, but boom. We got cookies. You can tell a couple are a little bit bigger than the other ones, but they're not bad. They're not bad. No, wait, not yet. Too late. Got him. I already got him. Okie dokie. I hope that I'm not burning my table, but Em was right. These pans cool down really quickly. No burns? I don't think so. I touched a cookie with my pinky over here, and I got a little bit of hot, like, melted chocolate on it. But I let it cool down for a minute in the oven before I grabbed it, and I don't even see any red underneath the chocolate that I just licked off. So I think I'm okay on burns. But I'll look at the rest of me later and figure it out. Just gonna grab a spatula. I got an extra big pancake spatula. So that's what we're gonna use. Tom, I want you to research Pee-wee's Big Adventures, and I want you to make your kitchen into a kitchen that cooks for you. All right, I got you, technological monk. I'll tell you what, I'll look into it. I would love a kitchen that would cook for me. All right, party people, we are almost at the end of this, I promise you. I'm gonna try to separate the cookies because they kind of baked together a little bit. Boom. I gotta tell you, they're a little bit crispier than I usually like. I mean, I'll tell you in a minute. They still seem soft. They're just a little crispy on the edges. All right, boom. There's two. There's three. Oh, get on that paper towel. Two for one. Let's go. Perks of a big spatula. Come on, get off of there. Uh-oh. I flipped it over. Thanks, Brianna. I really appreciate it. Oh, this was a lot of fun, baking. I tell you what, I think I'm gonna leave it to the pros. Because this was a lot of work. And I know I just ran into the table. I hope it wasn't too hard on the ears for you guys. I wish you were here to help taste the cookie too. But Soon enough, Leon. Soon enough. Let me make a little bit of room. Boom. All right. This cooled down super quick. You're super right, and it cooled down so fast. Let me set this down. Put it in the sink. And I gotta try one. So let's do it. Good night, Leon. Appreciate you hanging around, dude. Oh my gosh. It's so soft. And so buttery and so gooey and delicious. Oh my god. I did it, you guys. I did it. I did it. Oh my god. I didn't just do it. We did it together. Thank you. Everybody that's been hanging around the whole time. Pan's cool. Ready for the next batch. Let's go. That's right, That's right. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I don't know if we're going to do bacon anytime soon, but rest assured we'll bring it back eventually. We'll be back next week to cook some more delicious food, doing adaptive cooking style with T-Fizzle. Yo, if you cook your cookies on top of parchment paper, they don't stick and you don't have to wash the cookie sheet when you're done. You don't even have ones that last forever. Bro, I know, technological monk. I was supposed to get parchment paper at the store today, but I forgot it. So unfortunately, we just buttered the pan. But I gotta say, that butter on the bottom of those cookies tasted real good. These are buttery, chocolatey, delicious cookies. I'm actually pretty proud of myself because they turned out awesome. And that was pretty tough. Not so tough in that there was like any particular hard part other than maybe mixing all the dough together, but it was just a long process. But hey, that's what we're here to do. And like I said, I love you guys. You all are the dopest of the dope. I will be back next Tuesday on the regular Live to Roll show. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for Brianna and Wheel Girl Talk. Nikki and Ashley and Jessica and the rest of the maybe Maya. All the ladies should be on there, and it will be awesome. I'll be tuning in. I hope you guys tune in too. I'll be back next Tuesday. I'll be back next Wednesday for more of this, more cooking, and yeah, I love you guys. You all are the greatest. Love you, Em. I am proud. You were so awesome. Baking is no joke. What you do on a regular basis is no joke. Alright, you guys. Here, let me grab my keyboard. And yeah, they're talking about life days, which is different for everybody. But it is Brianna's life day tomorrow, so make sure to tune in and show some love. And I love you guys. Live to roll. Be good. Stay safe. Stay happy. Talk to you later.